Hey everybody, this is Pat Torpy from Mr. Big.
This is Glenn Hughes, the voice of rock.
And you're listening to Music Mania.
And you're listening to Music Mania.
You ready for some screaming heavy metal? We rock!
But the evil that men do lives on.
We gonna bang your head!
You are now listening to the Music Mania podcast, brought to you by CD Warehouse in Gladstone, the #1 hard rock podcast in the Midwest, featuring hard-hitting interviews with rock's living legends. And now, here's your host, Clint Switzer.
The summertime may be in the rear view, but we are just getting started. The Music Mania podcast rolls along through the fall of 2018, and we are going to be welcoming a very special guest here on the show today, Mr. Frank Hannon. Yes, the guitarist from Tesla. He has a double-volume solo album out called From One Place to Another, Volumes 1 and 2. Kind of an eclectic mix of covers that Frank has recorded. The first volume, kind of more acoustically and folk-based from some of his musical upbringings. The second one, you've got bands like Jimi Hendrix, Aerosmith, Deep Purple, even Seal. Yes, Frank Hannon, one of the most known and best guitarists in rock today. You can go to his website, frankhannon.com, to get the information on how to get those albums. He's got a video for Hush coming out, the Deep Purple cover. It's going to be coming out here very soon, and just very interested in this opportunity because, you know, having caught Tesla several times over the last few years, I mean, they've opened for bands like Def Leppard for a couple summers. Just this summer, it was with Styx and Joan Jett. They're just one of those bands. Tesla can always be counted on to deliver a high-energy performance. They're one of the most straight-ahead, most respected bands in rock, and there's a reason for that. They never sold out to trends. They were always, you know, they stayed true to themselves, and here they are still maintaining that success to this day, and we're going to be talking to Frank about all of it, about recording the new Tesla album, which Def Leppard guitarist Phil Collen has produced. They did that on the road while touring together for those couple summers, so they were definitely productive. Tesla's a band that never slows down. Frank has been, out there, doing shows with his solo band, promoting these two albums From One Place to Another. So be sure to go to his website, check out these albums, frankhannon.com. You can get all the information on that. Tesla's in the middle of a tour themselves, so go to teslatheband.com. You can see the tour dates for Tesla. They have a few dates left in October and I believe December coming up here. So Tesla's always busy, always out there on the road, and we are always keeping it 100 right here on the Music Mania podcast as well, because you guys already know the songs. We bring you the stories, and that's what it is all about for us. And with a guy like Frank Hannon, we've had Troy Luccketta and Dave Rude from Tesla on the show before, so a big treat for us to get to Frank Hannon. We're going to have to get to Jeff Keith at some point, maybe Brian Wheat, and round out the rest of the band, because we're going to go for the clean sweep of Tesla members here, but again, Tesla, always one of the most respected bands, and I have the utmost love and respect for Tesla. Frankie's just one of the best guys, man, just down to earth as could be. It's amazing catching up with him and talking about his endeavors. And before we get to that interview with Frank Hannon, I've got to tell you about our sponsor, CD Warehouse in Gladstone, Missouri. Guys, for over 22 years, a staple of the Northland. They buy, sell, and trade CDs, DVDs, vinyl, and more. Do not let the vibe of the old school record store go by the wayside. Let them know Music Mania sent you, and they will give you a discount, or it's on a CD Warehouse in Gladstone for over 22 years, a staple of the Northland. Frank, how's it going, my friend? Good morning. How's everything going, brother?
Hey, Clint, it's going great, man. I couldn't be happier right now. Things are looking pretty good.
Well, absolutely.
Life has waves, man, but I'm riding a pretty good one right now.
I'd say that's right, man. It's been a great ride for not only for Tesla, but yourself, and really kind of delving into these solo albums that you've done. I'm just so enamored with this and the idea behind it. I just want to get into it because Volume 2 has just come out here in May, and the single for Hush, the Deep Purple covers come out. Man, this Volume 2, like, you really ramped it up, man. From Aerosmith to Jimi Hendrix to Seal, you left no stone unturned on Volume 2 here, brother.
Yeah, I went crazy this year, man. I had a lot of downtime on the road. You can get bored in a hotel room and or not even that, on the bus, whatever. So I recorded these songs, just to keep my sanity, and a lot of them, man. I look back on it with hindsight, 2020 here, and just go, wow, man, you really did create a lot of music this year. Even though they're cover tunes, a lot of time and energy went into making it, and so I think I'm nuts, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, it's in the last year we've talked we've had Troy on, we've had Dave on, we've talked about all the Tesla stuff, and you guys are so busy and out there, and it's so great. But I mean, to see this from you, to see this output from you, I think what's interesting is there's such an eclectic mix here, and it's obviously music that's influenced you growing up. But you really want to put an emphasis here on the vocals of this album. You kind of had some guest stars come in to play guitar. You're the guitarist for Tesla, but here you are. The vocals were a big deal for you here, and I mean, it really shines. It's really great stuff, and it's good to hear the vocal side of you for sure.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, the whole premise of this project started off with me wanting to pick some songs to develop my singing voice, and being a fan of guitar playing and music myself, and having been around for a while now, I've got some friends that were willing and eager to jump into the project with me. First was Paul Jackson from Blackberry Smoke, was very supportive, and Dwayne Betts and the Nelson Twins, and now on this album I've got Brad Whitford's son, is Graham Whitford, who plays a mean guitar and Lower the Side, and it's fun, as a guitarist to have guys that are even better players than me, play some killer lead guitar because I'm a fan, and so to have them on my project really just been electrifying, It's cool, and it's allowed me to focus on my vocals, which, a lot of people, I don't know if they realize, but I'm a closet frustrated singer. I can't sing to save my life, but I'm trying real hard on this project.
No, it sounds great. It's awesome, and I think that it was a lot evident on the Volume 1. You had kind of a different mix. I mean, Volume 1 was kind of more your if you want to call it folky acoustic side, and then Volume 2. Did you have kind of a vision for that? How you wanted to set up each album and kind of make them different in that way?
Well, it's ironic. The title is called From One Place to Another, and it's so fitting. And a friend of mine who's been working the record, his name is Rob, he suggested that title because he heard the eclecticness of the music, and plus being on the road and traveling and recording it from one place to another. But the styles of the music definitely goes from one place to another. I set out, originally I was just going to do one album, but I had so many different diverse ideas and things that I was recording, ranging from Queen to the Nelsons to Call Me the Breeze. I mean, I was just recording anything and everything on this little portable recorder. And but I will have to say that when I had all the leftovers left over from Volume 1, there was a bunch of leftover tracks that tended to be more ballads, and I decided that I wanted to make a Volume 2. I decided that I wanted it to be more rock and roll and live, and so I got my band here that I play with locally, and we went into a studio and recorded Hush, Spanish Castle Magic, Lord of the Flies, all those songs live, and there's a great live spirit on the record that I'm really happy with. And I do have even more songs left over from Volume 3 that might end up being more of the ballad side of things, the songs that were mellow that I left off of Volume 2.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you talk about a live setting. I mean, you've got some tour dates coming up with Tesla, but before we get into that, you've got a date coming up here, a live date, a solo date, Monday the 31st in Sacramento, man, at Ace of Spades. It's got to be great to get out there and play these songs live and interact in that way. I mean, it's going to be a cool deal here on the 31st in Sacramento, man.
Yeah. Again, I've been so lucky to have made friends in this business. The music business is tough, and when you can make friends, it's such a great thing. And I've been great friends with Dave Minichetti for many years, And Y&T has invited me to play the New Year's Eve show with them at Ace of Spades in Sacramento, bring in the new year with them. And it's just an honor. I've got to sit on stage and jam with Y&T before, and I'm really looking forward to bringing in the new year with them. I've done a lot of shows on this From One Place to Another thing, solo shows. I've got a few more coming up as well. I'm opening for Jack Russell's Great White. I'm opening for Jackal in the Midwest, and that would be in St. Charles, Illinois, which is outside of Chicago, and then Menasha, Wisconsin, which is near Appleton, Green Bay area. That's in December, the weekend of December 14th. And in March, I had what was called the March Madness Tour, and we were doing Hush on that tour. We went out to Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, Tucson, Arizona. We bounced all over the place with this project. And that's what I said earlier. I'm nuts. I should just only do Tesla, and that's it. But I can't help myself, man. I love to rock and roll.
Absolutely, and that's how it should be. You have done a lot of Tesla, man. These last few years have been huge for you guys. Opening up for Def Leppard for a couple summers. This summer caught you here in Kansas City, opening up for, of course, Joan Jett and Styx. What an amazing bill that was. Tesla's become, man, that go-to band that on these huge tours. It's got to be gratifying for you guys, man. What's that been like? And I know you're on a run of headline dates right now too in October. It's just been crazy, but you guys you got to be gratifying to know that these bands know to have Tesla on these tours, that you guys are always delivering, and that's just got to be huge for you guys.
I'm really, really, truly blown away by the career that Tesla and myself has had. I mean, it's a lot of work. We're very dedicated to it, but at the same time, music is a tough industry, and we've managed to keep our stuff going based on our songs and fan base. People really have a great time at our shows, and we enjoy it so much. So we're very blessed. I mean, it blows me away when I start off one of our songs, because we never really had a huge mega hit. We're kind of like an underdog kind of band, and but when I do play like the intro to Love Song or What You Give, or we start Modern Day Cowboy at the shows, the people really react still even more now than they did in 1986, and it just shows me the integrity of the fans and the loyalty of the fans to the music and the integrity that the songs have, and it's all about the songs, man. And we're still doing it. You're right. It really blows me away, and as long as people are happy and we can bring the happiness, then that's what we're going to keep doing.
Absolutely.
I feel very lucky to be in a business that brings joy to people and makes people happy, and entertainment and playing music and providing them with an escape, a place to go that's outside of their normal routine. It's a very cool job. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
It's what music's all about, and that's been the spirit of Tesla since the beginning. You guys always stayed true to yourselves, and I think that's what spawned a lot of this success. And the fact you guys are on a headline run right now. Next show's in Norfolk, Virginia, here on the 17th, and you got Cherokee, North Carolina, Troy, Ohio, Jim Thorpe, PA coming up. Kind of talk about. I talked to Dave Root about this over the summer, but interesting to get your perspective on these headlining dates where you get to play a little longer, you get to bust out more of the catalog versus on the opening for bands like Styx or Def Leppard, you get 6-7 songs, 45 minutes or so. It's great to be in front of those huge crowds, but man, it's got to be cool though to do these headline shows and you get to delve more into the catalog and play a little longer. I mean, which do you prefer, kind of one over the other, or is it just all good getting to play the music, man?
Well, I'm a pretty all good, easygoing kind of guy, and I appreciate any of these gigs that we've been doing. To be on tour with Dick is such a great learning experience. I mean, I watch Tommy Shaw and JY every night, and I would learn from their experience and watch their show, and then we bring that into our new Tesla show. When Tesla headline, when we do our longer show, we have a very more professional, awesome video experience in our show, and like you said, we can do more of our catalog and put that visual experience into that as well. So do I have a preference? Yeah, of course I prefer to play a longer set, and because when you're playing a shorter set, you have a lot more downtime, and you're just kind of waiting to play. The shows are the best part of the night, and when you can do a longer show, it's definitely better when you're a performer to be able to do that.
Absolutely. Well, talk about you and the guitar tandem that Tesla has. You yourself and Dave Rude. I think that if there's been a more welcomed addition to a band in the last decade or so, Dave Rude has got to be it. Man, that guy seems just absolutely perfect for Tesla. You guys seem to really have a lot of good chemistry. Just talk about that guitar tandem and how it's been working with Dave these years, man.
Well, yeah. The twin guitar sound is definitely the chemistry that Tesla has had from the beginning. Our original guitarist that started the band with me, Tommy, he and I had a great chemistry with our right hand and the rhythm. The rhythm is the most important, and when you get real chunky, and when you play your guitar solos, even lead playing comes from the right hand. That's where the sound comes from. That's a quote from Joe Walsh. He's so right. A lot of people think it's all in the left hand, but it's really in the right hand. And for a long time, I searched and played with a lot of different guys in my solo band, trying to find the perfect guy for Tesla. And it wasn't until I found Dave Rude and his right hand and his timing that I knew he was the right guy. And then on top of that, his personality and his chemistry with the band and his look, everything was just absolutely perfect and meant to be. He has been with us longer now than our original guy was with us. So he is an integral part of the band, and he was the perfect meant to be guy in the band for the next generation of Tesla, based on his attitude, number one, and his rhythm in his right hand, and the chemistry of our playing, number two. And what a great guy. I love Dave Rude, man. He has just been the saving grace for the band. I mean, we went through a lot of hard times. People don't realize this, but in the 90s, man, when Tommy was having his problems and the music industry changed and divorces and all these ups and downs that were going on in that era for Tesla, was very, very difficult. And I think that's why we cherish it so much now more and really take care of it now more than ever, is because we've been through the rough times, man. We've been through the bottom of the barrel, being broke and scraping to find a job.
Yeah.
There was a time, people don't know this, but when Tesla was broke up in the 90s after we had played arenas and stadiums, and I had 3 little kids and was broke, where I was, I got a job just like the rest of the world has to work, man, hanging sheetrock and picking up trash, and I had a job feeding the wood chipper, man, trimming trees, and my friends were going, "You're crazy, dude. You play guitar. You're going to cut your hand off. What are you doing?" But, I had to survive, man, and, that's just the way life is. And but now we've rebuilt it again, and Dave's been a big part of that, and we're very blessed.
Well, you guys are going to have a new album coming out here in the new year. We had Phil Collin on our show from Def Leppard talking about it. He's so excited. It's like all he wanted to talk about was producing this Tesla album. It's called Shock. It comes out in 2019. And, from the stories I've heard from Troy and, from Dave, it's like you guys kind of recorded this while on tour with Def Leppard, just hanging out in the hotels like you were talking about with your solo album. So that's got to be cool, and everybody's looking forward to this new one, man. What can you tell us about it? And it seems like it's been a great experience getting it recorded.
Yeah, Phil Collins taught us a lot, man. I mean, we really learned a lot. And this new Tesla album is called Shock, and it's loaded with Tesla music, but multiplied times 10 from the stuff that we learned from Phil. I mean, and Phil was just nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Def Leppard. The guy is just an enigma. He's full of positive energy and is a great coach. And he coached us, and we learned a lot you can never stop learning anything you do. And Tesla learned a lot production-wise, and he took our song ideas and produced them to the max. And I think people are really going to be blown away by the album sound, and the production and the songs are taken to a new level for us. And he taught us that you can be productive on the road. I mean, I'll be honest, Tesla may not have made another album because we were stuck in these ways of thinking that you can't do this, can't do that, can't write songs on the road. Well, Bill proved us wrong and taught us that we can do it. And not only that, I made a solo album on the road too. So, you can do whatever you set your mind to do in this world and in life. And Phil taught us that, and it was a great experience.
Well, Frank, I tell you what, we can't be more excited for the success for you personally and for the band and everybody. FrankHannon.com is where you can go to get both volumes 1 and 2. Go over there to the website and grab both of those albums. They're very good. It's even hard for me to pick a favorite because I love covers. I love hearing new versions of songs that I already like. Hush. I love Deep Purple. I loved Hush. Kiss from a Rose, man, is freaking great. That is like just this guilty pleasure Seal song I've always had. And you did such a great job with it. There's so many. I urge everyone to go check it out, man. I know it's been a labor of love for you, and I just am glad to see it all come to fruition, man. You're a great dude, great guitarist, and it's great to see, man. Great to see you getting all these great accolades. You deserve it.
Hey, I really appreciate it. Your words there, man. I don't expect it to be a humongous, giant hit, but to me, it's been a labor of love in my heart, and it's funny you mentioned the Seal song. Yeah, a guilty pleasure. It's one of those. It's a guilty pleasure of mine too. There's something about that melody that haunted me, and I learned. Life is about learning. Is what I'm learning.
Well, it doesn't have to be a guilty pleasure anymore. You've recorded it, so now it's no longer. I don't have to be guilty about it. So even better. Well,
I did the song so I could try to learn something new, and I learned that Seal wrote the song without any instruments, just strictly a vocal, a cappella melody.
Wow.
And I learned that singing is something that just needs to be natural and relaxed, and Seal is, man, he is the most chill, relaxed singer I think there is. And so, that's the story on that song. Again, thanks a lot, Clint. I appreciate it, man, and I look forward to sending you the new video for Hush. We just finished the video. Randy Hansen came down. Now, Randy Hansen is a huge guitar hero of mine that I used to open for locally on the West Coast back in the early 80s. Randy Hansen was a star around here, and he still is. He's traveling around over to Germany and Europe, and he makes a special appearance in my video. He just so happened to be available. He came down. The video is going to be released for Hush and Spanish Castle Magic, and Randy Hansen is an amazing performer. I want to talk about him a little bit. I used to open for him when I was a kid, and I used to watch him play and learned a lot of performance, live performance, stage performing from Randy Hansen, and he's amazing, and he plays lead guitar on Hush.
Yes, absolutely, and it's great stuff. And I tell you, it's I mean that is so cool to have that. I think it's probably an experience that you'll obviously never forget. And very excited about the video. I just talked to Jody from Best Bet. Man, we're always in sync. She just said, "Hey, if you could hold off a little bit, the video's coming out." I was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll make sure I get the video out there." So excited for that, Frank. We'll catch you somewhere out there in the stratosphere, man. I see Tesla at least once a year, so it'll probably be at some point next summer, or catch you solo, one of the two, man. Always great to catch up with you guys. Best of luck, man, with all that you're doing, and we can't thank you enough for the interview today, brother.
All right, you take care, bro. We'll talk to you later.
You bet. Thanks a lot, Frank.
See you down the road. Bye.
What an excellent opportunity to catch up with Frank Hannon, one of my favorite guitarists from Tesla. What a guitar tandem that is with he and Dave Rude. I always loved Tommy Schio when he was in the band as well. And that was tough for them to part ways with Tommy, but his demons, obviously kind of got the best of him. And it's just great to see Dave Rude in there and the Tesla continuing to have the success that they are. And Frank Hannon, once again, go to his website, frankhannon.com. You can get the albums, Volume 1 and Volume 2 of From One Place to Another, and an eclectic mix of Frank Hannon's musical upbringing, the vocals are tremendous. Frank Hannon said himself, he's kind of a closet vocalist. He wanted to come out and do this and concentrate on the vocals, and he's definitely done so. Amazing stuff. Really love the albums. You can check out the video for Hush, coming up soon, probably available on his website and YouTube as well. So guys want to keep you engaged with us, you can go to our website, musicmaniapodcast.com. It'll get you all the information on our past shows. They're all archived there. All the show reviews I do, every concert I go to, I do a review of it. So be sure to check that out. Interact with us at musicmania_show. We always appreciate it. If you have an idea for a guest, if you've been to a show, want to send in a review, make sure you do that. I always love to get that. So thank you guys so much for joining us as we continue to roll along here on the Music Mania Podcast. More big things to come as we jetpack our way through the end of 2018. Thanks so much for joining us.